Slavery and the Gold Rush. Perhaps no other region in the West illustrates the contrast between opportunity and bondage more than California. In 1848, gold rush fever swept the region when gold nuggets were found at Sutter's Mill. Thousands of people, enslaved and free, flooded the region hoping to strike it rich. Generally, owners severely limited their slaves' mobility or handling of money. But for some, the enticement of easy riches loosened those structures. William Campbell, for one, a white man who lived in Indian Territory, sent his slave Green to California with instructions to bring back $1,200 worth of gold. Perhaps because he sent Green along with his brother-in-law and a diverse group of men, Campbell might have thought Green would be less likely to escape. But to Green, freedom was more precious than gold. Much to Campbell's dismay, he found his opportunity to liberate himself. After a quarrel with some of the men in the group while passing through Texas, he escaped to Mexico, where slavery was illegal. If Green had made it to California, he would have had encountered other enslaved people working in the gold mines and on ranches in the Sonoma Valley, as well as 300,000 migrants of all nationalities who had arrived to this region by 1860. The slave population included not just African Americans, but Native Americans as well. In fact, Native American slavery was legalized in California in 1850, with the state legislature's passage of the Act for the Government and Protection of Indians. Through this legislation, Native Americans had to provide documentation of employment or they would be arrested for vagrancy and sold to the highest bidder. While the traditional history of the American West has long been one of white settlers in conflict with indigenous people, recent scholarship has rewritten that narrative, revealing it to be a far more complex space. Settling new territory required hard labor, and even as the abolitionist movement grew back east, there were many economic incentives to continue slavery as the United States expanded west.